Hey, welcome back to the first episode of season 3 of From My Mat to Yours podcast, hosted by your yoga bestie and your yoga coach, Kenya Marsh. Today, as we are getting used to being in a new month, I'm going to dedicate this episode to providing you some tips on how to prepare yourself for a spring reset. Spring is a great time to renew, reset, and rejuvenate. We have a new month and some new goals. It's time to step it up and make some changes. So are you ready to go over what I have in store for you today? Great. Let's get started. So here we are in the month of March. And with March comes, if you're in some parts of the states, you know we are shifting into daylight savings times. So we have to start with setting those clocks to spring ahead so you have more time during the day to be out. Our bodies are already probably getting used to that shift, seeing the daylight come at a sooner time, and we're soon going to have to adjust to losing that hour of sleep by gaining that extra hour for any sort of activity. But I look at spring more than just that. I know it's the later on into this month, but for me, once March comes, I'm already in spring mode. And I already start to see some of the trees are budding. The flowers are going to start to bloom and bud, and the beautiful colors are soon going to start to show themselves. This is also a great time to do some spring cleaning. I love doing spring cleaning, and in the fall is the two biggest time of the year for us in my household. Is just getting rid of bulk things. This is when it's all about just a true cleanse. And I want to share some tips on what you can do and just jog your memory or trigger some new thoughts, probably a different perspective on spring cleaning, because it's a good time to review what you have in your house that you do not need and get rid of it. No excuses. This doesn't have to only apply for your home. It's a good time to reevaluate what you have that you're putting into your body and your mind, and rethink on what you want to do so you don't keep those same patterns as the previous ones. It's all about elevation. So how do you start to elevate? You gotta change some things. So let's talk about some of the things or review that you can remove to help you reset, renew, and rejuvenate yourself. That way, you'll be able to elevate to that next level and just keep going up and up and up each month that's ahead of us. The first part I want to start to talk about is your mindset. 2020 is a rough year so far in how it started for us. And a lot of us, there's so much going on. And it just seems like there's so much more than the previous years. But don't let any of that distract you from your purpose, because you're here to get some learning experience on this planet and make the best of your life as best as you can. So if you find yourself this year getting a slow start and not even getting off from where you were these last couple of months, it's time that we look into that a little further and figure out what it is that's creating this roadblock. It's time to stop with any form of self-doubt that you have for yourself. Don't doubt yourself. If you have others around you that are doubting you and that are feeding those thoughts, it's time you cut them out. Spring cleaning means cutting people out, things out, whatever that does not serve the greater purpose for you and your goals. Get them scissors, get those boxes, pack it up, ship it away. Remove yourself from those situations, including your own self. We can tend to be our own worst enemies. Let's not keep that pattern going for the rest of this year. We still have months ahead, and it starts today. It starts each day, taking it one day at a time. So if you find yourself overthinking or doubting yourself, this isn't going to work, or I just can't do this, stop yourself in your tracks immediately and start thinking of what you can do. What could go right? Allow yourself to live. Allow yourself to enjoy, even if it's just a little moment. But the more you start to enjoy more things, the smallest things at that, the more you will find yourself thinking more on how can I get that feeling again and again versus getting stuck on this hamster wheel of doubt and negativity. Understand that things will not go according to plan. You never know what the day brings, to be honest. But your reaction and your actions on what you do is the only thing that you have in control. That's what you have to gear and shift your day. You can have an idea, but just know that sometimes you can plan down to the second, and things can be set off here or there. And some of those things are not in your control. So don't go crazy focusing on the stuff that you can't control. Allow yourself to accept that you can't control those things and focus on the things that you can control. Focus on the things that you can make go right. Next, it's time to organize those thoughts and ideas of yours. How many years, months, days have it been where you have these constant ideas popping in your head like, oh yeah, that's great, or I should do that, or oh yeah, that's good. It's time to really get those thoughts out your head. How many projects you had from work or books outside of work that you was like, I should write a book? Or is these products that you have a way to improve or bring to the table that doesn't even exist yet? How many crafts, how many plans, how many of those thoughts keep coming into your head that you just let it go? It's time to shift those and get a notebook or notepad, get your laptop, set up a digital notepad there, and start brainstorming. Get those thoughts, those ideas out your head and onto paper. Brainstorm. It doesn't have to be in any order at the time. The key is just to get the thoughts out and then build on those thoughts. Create little mind maps with those thoughts and see where it takes you. You will surprise yourself with how many great ideas you actually have that now you can focus on for the year and possibly lead you to a new business venture or a new partnership or a new position. There's so much new opportunities that could just come once you just tap into your own thoughts. Pay attention to yourself in that aspect. Pay attention to those thoughts, those new thoughts, those innovative thoughts. You are a creator, but you have to acknowledge it first, and you have to see what you're working with. So in order to see it, you gotta get it out on paper in some form or fashion, whether it's typing it up in your draft in your email or pulling up Word or just a digital notepad, Google Docs, your phone, your memo pad, anything. Just get it out, get writing, and brainstorm. Build on those thoughts. Connect and share. You might be sitting on a gold mine in your head. You might have several gold mines in your head, but you will never know. And you might take it to the grave if you don't even acknowledge or even give it an extra thought. The next thing that I always love to say is to fly. And fly for me is first love yourself. Every morning you wake up and you're about to brush your teeth, look in the mirror and take time to admire yourself. Not in a way that's just vanity, but beyond that. Admire the courage that you have and admire the determination. Admire how far you've come to actually get the opportunity to wake up, to see yourself another day. Admire what you have and who you are as a person. Stare yourself directly in your eye and gaze into your soul. Remember who you are and love yourself for that. You love yourself and you fill yourself with that energy. Then you get a shot of some caffeine. You'll be on cloud 9 before you even get out the house, and no one can take that away from you because you're flying. So continue to fly. And then when you're getting ready to wind down for the night, do it again. Remind yourself you did good, you're your best, and so you can have a good night's sleep. Keep flying. Fly. First, love yourself and let that love for yourself overflow into your spouse, your partner, your kids, your family, your friends. Let that love overflow. But it starts within you. Fill up your cup. Remember, you are more than enough and then some. And you have to believe in yourself. Now, having that new type of a mindset, let's go ahead and focus on your body. In order for you to elevate and take it to that next level, you have to be honest with yourself and assess your current situation. So here's some questions you need to address to yourself. What is important to you in terms of health? What is the one thing you want to achieve in order for you to have better health? What changes are you willing to make? What sacrifices are you willing to take? How much time are you willing to spend? And how are you going to hold yourself accountable? Those questions is something that you should be revisiting every week to see if you're on task, to get an idea, and to help you reset. Because the only person that could stop you is you. And your health is important. If you're not healthy, you won't live as long as you could possibly live. So you have to treat your body better, treat your mind better. And if you need to, do a detox. Get those last bit of toxins out your body. There's some great yoga poses that allows you to twist. I even have some great detoxing recipes that are some of my favorite, and how to get a good cleanse to start your week. Intermittent fasting is something that I actually love doing, and I've noticed these last month and a half of practicing that, I've been a little more clear-headed and more energized than I was prior. So if you want to elaborate more on the body portion and how you can kickstart your health in detox and remove things from yourself, jump in the Facebook group Elevated Yogis, and I will be glad to share some more of my tips on what's working for me, and that can help get you started on your path. Moving on to your surroundings. You know, your environment plays a huge part in your mood, health, and well-being. So let's look at some of the things that you can get rid of to allow you to get clarity and feel great. Clutter. Clutter, clutter, clutter. It's time to get rid of that clutter. I know my husband used to get on my case about hoarding certain things, I'm a picture hoarder, so I have like bins full of pictures, which I will not get rid of, I'm being honest. But shoes was my next thing. And that is where it took me a while to go through some things. So I had to learn to let go. And what I would suggest you do is go through your cabinets right now, go through your pantry, go through your fridge, go through your freezer. Check the dates on your things. Throw out what you're not eating. Look at the pattern you have, what you like, what you don't like. Get rid of it. Check your email. Look at the stack of mail that you put to the side. Shred it. Check your email. Clear out your mailbox so you won't have like 1,000 plus. Just do mass deletions because obviously you didn't look at it at this point. You're not going to look at it tomorrow or a week from now. Delete it. Clear out and make space for new. In order for you to get some new, bigger, better things, you got to get rid of the old. You have to get rid of the old. So shred it, delete it, or throw it out. That's what you need to do with your clutter. Donate. If you have some things that you're like, this is kind of cool, it might come back. It may or may not come back, but it's taking up space. Donate it to somebody else. Donate it to your local Goodwill or shelter or somewhere. If you have some gentle use clothing and furniture and all those things, don't stack it in your garage or your basement or your closet. Don't overflow your space. You need space to breathe. You have things you probably haven't touched in a couple of years. You might even find things that you have tags on. I was guilty of that. So I just did a big donation with some of my clothes and shoes that I forgot that I had. So I recommend you do the same. Go through your closet, check what you have, create piles, create what you're wearing actively now, what you're not wearing and what you might wearing, donate that. That way you can always go in your closet and feel relieved and not overwhelmed when you need to get something and go somewhere. So take time to really go through your things. There are so much people out there who love to make use of things that you're not making use of. You might as well give them the opportunity to use the stuff that you're not. So donate. Also, just stuff that we might be forgetting is just checking the batteries and like your smoke detectors. Check it or update your fire extinguishers. Make sure you're not having an expired fire extinguisher under your sink. Make sure you look at the little things that we kind of take for granted and we overlook that we use or may need. Make sure it's up to date. It's working. Take some time to do that. And the last thing I would say is add some fresh plants and flowers into your house to lift the mood. There's something about the scent and that aroma that flows from the flowers and the trees. Actually, plants in your house actually helps prepare and clean your environment. It's your actual natural filter. So it's time to take advantage and use that. And that's going to be all for today. I will be touching more on this if you like inside the Facebook group Elevated Yogis. And I hope you found all these tips helpful to get you all set up for up and coming spring. Don't forget to reset those clocks for like your microwaves and stuff that it's not up to date with bouncing off of a satellite. And enjoy your weekend. And thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the season. And I look forward to speaking with you again next Friday. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, Simply Fit and Curvy Yoga, or visit simplyfitandcurvyyoga.com to shoot me an email if you have any questions and you want to connect. Have a good weekend. Enjoy that weather and talk to you soon.